Alright, so we're working on these, I'm calling them bozo plates, to take care of this little problem that I had, or I created, I should say. These, I don't know if you remember, but these hang over a little bit, you know, just because these were a burnout and I didn't quite catch that, so I'm calling them bozo plates. So I don't like that step, and I want to deal with that step. So the plan at this point is I want to put an end cap on there, okay? And I showed one that I had played around with before, which was this monstrosity here. And this pretty quickly got vetoed, and the idea was that it would be made out of bronze or brass or whatever, and attach on here and kind of extend that surface out a little bit. And this will be painted, so it would add a decorative touch to it too. You know, it's kind of like this. It would be bare metal, but not steel, right? So, like I said, this was a little too much. Trying too hard there, I think. So the next, I kind of went to what I call a dual radius, right, which is a little bit different way to radius the end of something, right? So instead of doing a full round, okay, you do a radius that's larger than the width of the piece that you want to radius. And then you blend that into a smaller corner radius. And it actually ends up looking, you know, I think it looks pretty nice, right? It's a nice way to, I think, to round the end of something, okay? So the idea is that these would, we'd lop this off where the chamfers are, and all that would go away, okay? And then our cap would go on and attach on with a couple of screws. Attach on like this, and then Tom is out of trouble and makes a nice recovery from his bozo move. Okay, so anyway, that's kind of the general idea. But the design process is you got to look at these things, and that's why I made these little wooden models before I started chopping all this stuff up. I mean, you can look at it on the computer, right? And you go, yeah, okay, that looks good. But you know, when you get to real life, it's sometimes different, right? Like I made this with all the best intentions, and then I was like, ugh, it needs to go away. Now, for the next problem, I said to myself, was like, wow, I've just created this big flat surface here, right? You know, and it looks kind of blocky and funny, right? And you know, how's that going to look, right? And so I showed it to my wife, and she says, no, it looks good. And she says, besides, you're going to have an angle leading into it, right? In fact, this actually is going to overlap this piece, right? So she caught that, and it's actually, I think, going to look pretty good because it'll be something like that, right? It'll be hanging over about that much. So you have two radii of varying radiuses and blending into that, and then these two holes, the attachment screws, kind of break this big flat surface up. So, and then I had a larger radius. I had a larger radius to start with, and I said, well, wait a second, I already have a radius nearby, right? So we just made it the same as as this one here, okay? Anyway, I'm just kind of showing you the thought process behind some of these parts, so you can, you know, look at these things yourself, right? You know, when you're doing your own stuff, and look at it with a critical eye. And does that look okay? Does that flow right? You know, how does that look, right? So, anyway, that's the general idea. So, the bozo caps are going to look something like that. And here's our material, and these are hiding in there somewhere, and so we got to root them out of there. So let's go do some rootin' tootin'. 1.5-inch Niagara roughing end mill, and it's just walking through that bronze like cream cheese. so it's time to, we're going to mow the ends of these off, kind of back where this chamfer ends. We're going to use this Niagara, actually this is kind of an interesting end mill. It's got this trippy waffle cut on them. So these are compliments of my friend Dennis Nolan from Niagara Cutter. He donated these cutters to a bunch of YouTubers. And this is a pretty interesting one in that it has a lot of surface area, and it's good for low horsepower or tough materials that tend to chatter and whatnot. And this has a it's a, what is it? Alcrona coating on it, aluminum chromium nitride, which is a non-titanium coating. So this is good for cutting titanium, actually. So okay, so what we're going to do, I think, is let's open the vise first. I think I got this worked out. I'm going to plop that in like so. And then these sides are parallel here. So the plan is I'm just going to stick some 1, 2, 3 blocks on there to extend those surfaces a little bit. Something like that. Okay. And then I want to set the length so that I can flip-flop it and make the ends symmetrical in relation to the holes. So let's see. Got a couple of pins here. That should do it. Okay, so I'm just going to catch the edge of the vise there like that. Hold it up against there. And then snug it, of course, snug it up. All right, let's get a gromp on this thing. All right, get the cutter going, and we'll do some ripping. Get some juice flowing here. Oh, it's about, according to the readout, or the, oops. Okay, Mr. Wizard, watch what you're doing there. Looks like it's going to cut good, though. Alright, let's take a pretty good cut. Oh, yeah. That's a nice cutter. Take a bigger one, let's see what we can do here. It's not squealing. Nice. Okay, so that Niagara cutter pulled off 2 inches of steel. So they were 1/2 inch thick, times 4 times 1.5 inches. Pulled off 2 inches of steel in pretty short order. So this is 2 thumbs up for this waffle cut Niagara cutter. Ouch. Ooh, the chips are kind of pokey. That's the only, look at that. Kind of pokey. Alright, so this is kind of the last bit here. I'm going to drill and tap some holes in the end surfaces to mount the bozo caps on. And we're going to use about all the travel vertically that the mill has. I'm going to put a stop on here just for good measure. But so, you know, when you're working far out of the vise like this, it's generally a good idea to pick up your surfaces each time, because if there's any, you know, everything's magnified when you're standing way up like this, right? So if this isn't perfectly square to that or whatever, it's pretty easy to be shifted more than a few thousandths, right? So in general, it's better to pick up these surfaces each time when you're working, hanging way the heck out of the vise like this, exactly like this. So what we're going to do is we'll use the centering function of the DRO to pick up this direction and this direction each time we drill and tap these holes. That way we get a really nice registration of the cap to this. So let's go to it. Back to center of the universe there. Okay, and then we'll catch this direction. That should put us in the middle of the meat there. Okay, yeah. And I always, you know, I'm such a chicken, I always look at it to make sure that it looks right. You'd be surprised how many times, you know, just eyeballing something saves your bacon. Let's see what it looks like. Make sure I'm not driving out of the frame there. Alright. Looks good. Alright, let's go. And you can see here that I got to blend these corners in to match those, so more file work. Let's go put it on the verticals and see what it looks like. Probably could have used shorter bolts, but that's what I had. Okay. Sweet. See, this overhang is great now. It actually looks better now because of that. So this will be radiused up along here and right up to that point. Same underneath. To that point, and then I'll show you the other side. There's a little trickiness on the other side over here too. So here's the trickiness here, is we come up to an intersection here, so you gotta be a little bit careful there because you'll create another weird spot there. So this radius, actually I think that ends it's kind of dried out there, will look something like that. So it'll be that radius on that end, and it'll fade out to 0 as it comes up to that intersection. So the blue is this little triangle here, this little conic or whatever it is, will be radiused off. So yeah, all right. So I don't know. It's kind of a happy accident, I would call it, that I needed to do something there, and it actually is better for it. So sometimes these things are, you know, they're blessings in disguise, so to speak. All right, guys, thanks for watching. I hope you liked it, and if you like this kind of stuff, please subscribe, and catch you on the flip side.